correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome back to the How We Roll Gaming podcast, everybody. Hope you are doing well. This is Daryl, and I have Nick and Robert with me as usual.
Howdy, everybody.
'Tis the season.
And 'tis the season, and
It's Thanksgiving.
this episode will be releasing the day before Thanksgiving here in the States. But how have you guys been since the last time we recorded?
Oh, just been pretty busy, worked slow. Yeah, got a lot of stuff happening afterwards. And then this week and next week, it's just a lot of friends and normal Thanksgivings. So I got to work on not getting stuffed this week.
Yup, I hear that. And
I guess we're all doing that because we're part of that quote-unquote Friendsgiving as well.
Yep. I will be I will be baking the chocolate chip pie for our Friendsgiving on Wednesday evening.
Turkey,
as this episode drops,
mashed potatoes here
tonight.
Turkey's a mess on my side.
I am
Robert
excited.
has a specialty dish.
Yep. It's called takeout.
And I'm excited because last time I was jealous of Nick because his Alien Evolved Edition Kickstarter delivery showed up. Mine showed up Wednesday of this week. Yay!
Good. I know you've been looking forward to that. So
I have.
There's so many little bits and bobs and goodies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm still looking through it. I most of it is over on the shelf already. But the GM screen and the Rapture Protocol minis are behind me here. So I will be, hopefully soon, I will start in painting on those. But before that, I have our Halloween board game minis to paint next week so that I can have those ready for the game on Friendsgiving.
Which
ironically, I have everything prepared for running Rapture Protocol that weekend. So it'll be basically a long weekend. Your worst nightmare, spending 3 days hanging out and playing games with my place. Oh no.
It's finally going to drive me to drink.
Nah. You're sturdy.
Yes, I'm sturdy. I will just, call upon the power of the squirrels.
Yes.
But we're gonna have a little bit of fun this episode.
A little something different.
Yeah, a little different. But before we get into this episode's fun, we want to let you know about another great show on the D20 Radio Network, the Eberron Renewed podcast. Eberron Renewed is an actual play podcast that focuses on long-form storytelling and character development.
As we're recording this, the show's third campaign is 61 episodes in, chapter 7 of their Pilgrimage and Infestation story.
So you can catch Eberron Renewed with Game Master Eric, Mia, Philip, Madison, and Jeff wherever you get your podcasts. Give them a listen. They are awesome folks.
Yep, met a few of them at the con. Was in a game with one of them. I believe it was Eric, so that was fun.
Yep, Sam was been in a game with them as well, and also just a big fan of Eberron in general, so glad to see them showing off that world in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So,
and they're not as dysfunctional as we are.
No.
They didn't take the DM's campaign and decide, yeah, we don't need that. Let's go make a tavern.
And it's
I
just
don't think
been
anyone
played by
can be
ear
as
since.
dysfunctional as us. But this time around, since this episode is dropping the day before Thanksgiving, which is traditionally, at least in the US, the kickoff of the holiday season with holiday shopping for multiple holidays that are around in the last month of the year, multiple gift giving holidays.
And the greatest gladiator show on earth known as Black Friday.
Yeah.
So, two different Black Friday philosophies or practices in my own household. So, Stephanie, my wife, used to go out with her cousins on Black Friday. They would head out at about 2 or 3 in the morning. They had pre-gamed their route for all of the stores that they were going to based on what time the stores opened and had figured out what each of them wanted at any given store. And so they had their route and they would do it as a team. There were like 6 or 7 of them. They would have multiple carts and go into each store and go off in like three
Oh, we're
or
talking
four
SEAL Team
directions.
6 stuff.
Yes, they would go in 3 or 4 directions with everyone's items that they wanted at the store. And so, like, 2 of them would hit electronics. One would have the cart, and the other would pull stuff that people wanted from electronics and put it in the cart. Others would go to like housewares and whatever. And one would go to toys. And they would team up, and then they would converge on the registers, split all of their stuff up, and in a lot of cases, like one store, like if they went to Walmart, the Walmart was across the street from a Target. Walmart opened before Target was. So they would be in line about 20, 30 minutes before Target opened. And so if there were 1 or 2 of them that weren't getting anything at Target, or at Walmart, they would go across the street and get in the line to get in at Target while everybody else checked out at Walmart.
I can
And
sum up my family's history way easier. Has any of you seen Jingle All the Way? It's that.
but I said that we had 2
Maybe I was saying
practices in the
shenanigans.
household.
Mm-hmm.
So she would get home from that around 6:30 in the morning.
Damn efficient.
Very, very. And then we would turn around and we would go out and we had our own route because back when stores actually carried physical media, DVDs, Blu-rays, and all of that, they
Don't
had
forget
great
the
Black
VHS
Friday.
tapes.
They had
I know
great
what that
deals
is.
on DVDs and Blu-rays. And so Movie Trading Company would open up
Oh,
at
those guys are
7.
great. Those guys are great.
They opened at 7 and their sale only lasted until from like 7 to like 8 or 9. It was only the first hour or 2 that they were open. So we would go there first, and then we would hit some of the same stores that she had just been at, but we're hitting them around 8 o'clock. All of the doorbuster people getting all of the big sales deals had come and gone in the time frame that she and her cousins were out. So we didn't really have crowds to deal with.
But that's
And we
half
would
fun. That's part of the
No, it's not.
consumerism.
No, it very much isn't, Nick. And I know that because I know you've never been in one.
That's right. And so we would
I
we
enjoy
would
watching.
we would go to multiple stores and get mostly DVDs and Blu-rays dirt cheap because some stuff we hadn't even seen before, but it's like, this Blu-ray is on sale for Black Friday for $4. That is the cost of renting it. And if we end up liking it, we will already own it at that point. And so we would come home with 20 or so different movies, TV box sets, and whatnot from having gone to multiple stores. And there were other things that we would get too. Like one year, the D&D starter set was on sale for like $5,
Oh, that is a steal.
and that was at
Oh, that
Target.
is.
A very
Oh,
big
was on
that
sale.
is a steal.
And so we got that, and we would get board games and stuff like that too. And then we would be home from all. Actually, it took us longer to do that because then we would stop and get lunch and go to my comic book store for their Black Friday sale. And the only reason it took us longer than it took them is because we would have to kill time and have lunch to get to the comic store because they didn't open till noon. But we were done and home by 1 o'clock with killing time, getting lunch, and all of that in there too. So that was our two separate Black Friday things. Now, the last few years, we haven't bothered to go because there aren't huge Black Friday only doorbuster deals. And those stores don't carry physical media anymore.
Not enough trampolines anymore.
So
Now, those of you watching may be asking, is this an entire episode about Black Friday? Surprisingly, no.
But
No,
it
it
does
is
have to do with what we're talking about.
yes, which we are hoping that this will be an annual tradition, a much better annual tradition than Black Friday, which is our annual RPG gift ideas
For all
episode.
you veteran or aspiring players and GMs out there.
Or just those of you who have a tabletop gamer on your Christmas shopping list, on your holiday shopping list. Some gift ideas.
Because that
And
itself
we've
is
each
something that's like we gift ideas is difficult. It does require this little thing called listening to people.
Yes, or in my family's case, we give our lists along with links to where we go to buy it.
In that
Yep.
spirit, we're doing the same. We'll have links to that, and
Yes,
also, so we will say that if you can support a friendly local game store, do so. They likely have deals too.
we so we will include links to everything, all of that good stuff, but like Nick was just saying, I will heartily recommend that you shop local, hit your friendly local game store, support them, keep them around, keep them in business so that you can get all of your gaming needs taken care of. Be able to go in and get stuff at your game store whenever you need it. Boy, that was a
And you never
rambling sentence.
never
Yes.
know what you can find when you do physical shopping.
And don't worry, we are conscientious people. The things we're going to talk about, we're also going to put links down in our description so you know where to go to find them.
Yep. So
That way, it's for direct, and there's also other places that can probably likely get those to you if you don't feel like
and
getting out and shopping physically.
and if you guys don't mind, I will kick it off.
Go for it.
I'll kick it off, and I'm going to start by saying there's kind of a pattern in my items that I have selected, in that they all kind of fall under a heading of you get a lot of bang for your buck out of these.
Never
And
never a bad saying, especially this time of year.
Never a bad thing.
and first up, maybe I'm being a little obvious here because it was a huge story in the RPG community early on this year. when it launched, and that is Daggerheart, the RPG system put out by Critical Role's Darrington Press. Uh, I know that it is still a hot commodity because I was in one of our friendly local game stores a couple of weeks ago, and there was someone who was frantically looking for it, and
And
they were helping
Critical Role
helping her
has
find it.
truly
And
been a major factor of like bridging the once insurmountable gap between RPG players and mainstream media.
Oh, very much so. And I feel that, well, they were big before, but I think also COVID helped because then everyone
Oh,
was just at home
it took them
doing
from
nothing.
like big in D&D spaces to like making it into the mainstream.
For those of you who may not be in the in about that, if you ever have watched the show Vox Machina, that's them. They're the voice actors and
well,
the creators of that show.
and they've just had a new animated series drop based on another one of their sets of games, another one of their campaigns, the Mighty Nine.
But there
So
are 6 of you.
Daggerheart, it's kind of a balance between a crunchy type D&D type system and a narrative driven system like Genesis or Star Wars. It borrows a lot of concepts from narrative games like that, and they are upfront about systems like Genesis being part of the inspiration for that. The design of the core rulebook is just absolutely wonderful. In that I waxed philosophical, or not philosophical. I was wild about it and was showing it off when I got my copy of the book months ago
Oh,
here on the
it is
show,
a
on the YouTube part.
it's a gorgeous book.
And just production wise, there's the side pages. If you look at the side, the different sections, you can see basically colored index tabs on the edges of the paper. So you can go to the section that you want without having to put actual tabs or bookmarks in there. So
They are very
just
courteous.
that was such a simple thing that I'm astounded that I haven't seen it in other core rule books
Again, I remember
before or
being
since.
amazed when we had like built-in bookmarks, which has also been a rather recent, but also usually reserved for
Yeah,
like
that's what I see
advanced
more of.
editions.
That's where I see more of
But
the
even
bookmarks. I have not
that
seen
that's
indentations like
recent.
you've explained yet, Daryl.
That's
Yeah,
very recent. That those are, and even then, that's like usually reserved for like a higher class, like second edition or like uh, a DM edition.
it's really well designed. It's very friendly for players. They have a wealth of resources on their website. Part of why I say it's a lot of bang for your buck is the core set comes with the core rule book, which is your average size core rule book, and it also comes with a box of, I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but close to 200 cards, because cards are a part of the game ecosystem for Daggerheart. But it comes with a box of nearly 200 cards that it's a very nicely designed storage box that it's not just like a cardboard tuck box. It's a
Which
very nice
it it's
box that is
designed,
the size and dimensions of an RPG book, with a
which could
tray
fit
that
on
you can
yourself
put the
easily.
cards back in.
But
Yeah,
it's like it's designed ergonomically so that it's very efficient. It's more efficient than most board games, which usually have similar fiddly components, and those easily get lost.
and they just announced the first expansion book, the first supplement for it. So that's in pre-order now, and so it's overall a great book. It's in high demand. They are finally starting to meet demand. There was a period of time where they were sold out directly, to the point that they were offering a discounted version of the core set directly through the Daggerheart website that did not have the box for the cards. It came with the cards, but they just weren't in the spiffy box.
So if you
It
think
looks like
they're in
now,
demand,
Unacceptable.
they are in demand. It's definitely in demand. So it's definitely something that if you have anyone that has like follows a critical role either by their new shows or their podcast YouTube material, definitely something that they would definitely appreciate in their underneath the tree.
yep. And touching on something we were talking about in our intro, and I mentioned that when I was in the local game store, there was somebody who was looking for it. They walked her right to it. They had several copies of it. And that customer made a point of saying, yeah, I could have ordered it from Amazon, but I want to buy from a local store. And
That's nice of her.
we've been hitting stores in the area ever since it came out, and no one has had it in stock. And this is the first time that we have run into somebody that has it in stock.
That's honestly a great story to start anyone to be in, like this being your friendly local. We always call it the friendly local game store. It's like it's always your friendly local game store. Where it's like you walk in, it's like when you walk in when they everybody knows your name from Cheers. You walk in, everyone knows your name.
Yep.
Those of you, and for the gift givers, who can help with the sentimental value, be like, yeah, I searched all over for this just to give it to you.
But that is Daggerheart. Robert, what do you have up first?
Oh, I've got a fun one just for those starting out who just want a game where you don't really got a lot of rules. And we got here, everybody is John.
Everyone is John.
Yes,
I'm John.
it's a fun little RPG where it's basically, I think it's like 2 or 3 pages of rules, and then the rest of the pages are just scenarios, because basically everyone is John just basically means there's one character in the show named John, and each of the players is a persona in John's mind, and you're fighting for control. So basically, this book gives you the premise, like the setting, and maybe like the first introduction scene. But then after that, the entire story is up to you guys to make. Because you basically, since you're the persona, this is your character sheet, pretty much.
Yes.
Simple rules. And you just write certain, they call it sessions, but basically things you want to accomplish multiple times. As easy as, I want to kick a door. I want to kick a door. That's one of your obsessions. Or second one is like, I want to play in a football game. Or an even more complex obsession where I want to rule Spain, basically. And
I
it's just
want
like,
my
okay.
boots. I want
Basically,
my boots.
your first objective is something that you don't necessarily need to roll a check for. The second is something that you might have to make 1, maybe 2 checks to accomplish. And then the third one is something that you can't accomplish with a single check. It's a complex goal that is going to require multiple checks throughout the
Exactly.
session to make.
And then also on the front, you can write down 2 or 3 skills you can do, like fast talking or juggling or jumping or acrobatics.
Usually
And if
those
you
are
have
decreed by the GM, sort of setting the scenario. John is the character, but John can be many different things.
Exactly.
And it just occurred to me, for those of you listening to the audio version and not watching the YouTube version, when Robert held up the character sheet, it is the size of a business card.
It and it I
Basically,
forget,
my card.
you can order those, but you could also print those off pretty easily.
Yeah, usually if you can find this in a store, it'll usually come with a packet full of them. And basically,
No.
going back to the skills. If a skill's on here, because everything is decided by just a roll of a d6. You say you want to do a skill or do something, you roll a d6. If this is part of your skill, then you just have to do you have to get a 3 or above to succeed. But if you don't have a skill, then you need to get a 6 to succeed. Now, if you either A, fail a roll, or somehow John takes damage in the story,
Or too
we
much time
say,
doing something.
or yeah, you take too much time
too
without
much-
doing a skill, or when nothing exciting's happening.
Yeah, or if
John
you
gets
just bore the GM.
yes. Then they say, literally, they say John is bored and falls asleep, and then that's when all the personas now have to fight for control, because you also have a little bit of these like I call them like willpower seeds, and you bet like between like 1 to 7 or 8 or something of how much you're gonna bet in here to see if you get control of them. The more, if you have the most willpower points, you get control. Or if you tie with somebody, you roll a dice to see who succeeds, and then whoever succeeds, they are not John, so they do what they want John to do, and then you just go back and forth until the story is
Best
over, and we
explanation
just
to it visually is if you ever seen on Disney Plus their Moon Knight. It's between basically switching between personalities in a moment.
yes, and then
And now,
basically at the end of John's story, you basically tally up, okay, how many times did you complete one of your obsessions? The easy one with no rolls usually gets a point. One where you might need a roll to do it is 2, and the complex ones are 3. You just tally them up, and whoever has the most points wins.
probably worth mentioning as we're talking about Everyone is John here, the edition that we're referring to with all of the different scenarios and the business card character sheet template and all of that is the edition published a handful of years ago by Gamer Nation Studios. Our friends GM Chris and GM Dave from the Order 66 podcast and Gamer Nation Con. Everyone is John itself started off as a one-page RPG. When Chris and Dave did this updated edition with the scenarios, they did have the full blessings of the original creator. And then they put out this edition that we're talking about. I believe the hard copy is out of print, even of their edition, but there is a PDF on DriveThruRPG, and we will link to that in the show notes.
Yeah,
Which is a
so
very
if
reputable place to get PDFs of many popular RPGs.
yeah, so if you want to if you just want to play or even run just a simple game with not so many rules,
And the
everybody's
only thing
John is
physically you need
yours.
is a pencil and some D6 dice found at most anywhere.
Or if you have these type of cards, I'd say a pen, because we've found that pencils don't
Oh yeah,
really work on these. So
pens.
Yeah, when I run out of my stash and I reprint them using the PDF of it, I'm gonna get non-glossy business cards.
this is a fun game if you just want to dip your toes into GMing, because it's so simple. You can just pass it around, be like, okay, you run the next scenario.
Same thing with players.
It is,
You could literally just, if it, as long as the GM approves it, it could be as absurd or as small your goal. You just have to roll for it.
Yes. We actually,
and
in the future, may talk about our RPG glory story of Everybody is John, where everyone was about to die from laughter at one of the con game because we played at the
yeah,
con.
it is a scream. I love playing it, and you can also flavor it up if you want to. GM Dave, one of the co-authors of this particular edition that we're talking about, ran it at Gamer Nation Con 9, which was themed as Lord of the Rings, and he ran it as Everyone is Gollum.
Yes. And then
And I have
Honestly, that's one of
dared
the
him.
most fanatically awesome ones too. Concepts for that.
which works so well.
I have dared him to next year since the theme is Star Trek 2, to run Everyone is
Honestly, that could work, especially like. Oh wait, no, I can't start talking about Khan. Otherwise, we'll get into like a philosophical debate about his lyrics and choices.
you gonna stop. Yeah, we're gonna stop you there. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
just a fun game. Be prepared to laugh. Be like, what? And just have a fun
'Cause
time.
that's very fun, very interesting.
But I think you got a more scary option for us, Nick.
and this one will come as a surprise to absolutely no one who has
Especially
listened
anyone
to our
who's
show.
or who just watched the beginning.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well then, in space, no one can hear you scream, and that
Because
same
you're dead.
energy from the classic Alien franchise comes Alien Evolved Edition from Free League Publishing. Now we've talked before about the Alien RPG and our deep appreciation for it, and have
We did a whole
lamented
episode
about
on it.
how some of us got it earlier than others, but now
Water under the
officially, like
bridge.
literally this week, you can order and purchase the evolved edition of the Alien role playing game. Transport yourself and your players into the dark expanse of space under the grind of corporate overlords and where every dangerous moon has some sort of skulking creature behind it. Experience a brand new core rulebook with expanded rules, not just for general role playing, but better calculations of the classic panic resolving mechanics, the stealth mode, which is a intermediary between narrative and combat, and an addition of new weapons and locations from the recent
Mm.
Alien Romulus series.
But we're still going to have to homebrew us some Alien Earth stuff.
Yes, I am going to leave that to you. Because I know
But
someone wants to use the eye.
but yes, not only but also Free League has also released, along with the new core rulebook, a renewed starter set, which includes dice and helpful player guides for those who've never played before, in a full box set. But wait, there's more.
Now, how much would you pay?
I'd buy that for $1. I wish I could. That'd be a really good deal. But also a reconfigured Game Mother screen, including a deluxe edition that's based off of the actual Mother computer from the Alien franchise. But also a brand new cinematic adventure, the Rapture Protocol. First in their Jeremiah trilogy, but the biggest edition and biggest involvement and evolution of Free League's growing RPG game system, a full miniature set to use on their brand new full color large scale maps to be used in their future role playing games.
Yes. And it's also just nice because basically the Evolved Edition is they just took the beginner one, took all the comments everyone had made, and decided, you know what? We're actually going to listen and follow your advice and rework some things.
And
And not only and they plan on releasing previous adventures, box set adventures they've already come up with for the previous edition, as well as the previous two source books, Colonial Marine Field Guide and Building Better Worlds, within this edition, though 90% of it is not changed.
now, kind of like what Nick was mentioning, maps in the first edition were functional and they fit the aesthetic of the setting. But since some people like to use miniatures, they have scaled up the maps and made them more full color rather than diagrams so that they can be used with miniatures. They also have included solo play rules in the book.
And a miniature, and in the miniatures, the initial miniature set, a rule set for a 1v1 miniature style tabletop war game.
And on top of everything else, the new starter set takes one of the best core rulebook included intro adventures that I've ever seen, Hope's Last Day from the first edition. And they have expanded it and made it into a full starter game in the box with some additional detail and updated for the Evolved edition. It's been a player favorite among the player base, and
It's
a
what got
great.
both of us. It's what got both. We've told the story multiple times, but it's what got us fully invested beyond the fact that we love Alien. But it's like it was playing Hope's Last Day is what really cemented it. It's like, no, we're playing this.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
yes, it was.
I do intend to run Hope's Last Day Evolved Edition at some point.
Yes, and like Nick said,
subtle differences.
And like Nick said, now that there's not only stress and panic, we also get trauma.
It's expanded on rules and materials to make it so that cinematic and campaign play have a whole lot more to work with.
Yes, and we'll see if Nick can kill more than one player.
Right? Nick still hasn't killed us yet.
No, he's killed one. He's killed
only one.
That's right.
Yeah, Betsy took a tumble.
That's right. But how long into that campaign did it take?
The finale.
Well, it's the penultimate.
The penultimate of the finale.
Yep. Yep. Meanwhile, Nick, how long did it take me to kill you in Free League's sister game, Walking Dead?
Says 0.
And that's not.
At least to the end.
Just the first time you've died.
But at least it was to the end of it.
Yes, but you've died once. Then another one of your characters died, and your other character is having a mental breakdown. Or a very emotional, traumatic moment.
Well, it's more emotional, which means that I'll die in the next episode because it's The Walking Dead.
No. My character is completely truthful now, and he's not dead yet.
Nick, this all happened in the same episode. We're both on the chopping block in the audience block.
Everybody loves Hank, though. Come on.
Which one of you is scheduled to appear on Talking Dead after the next session?
Well, we don't know yet.
We don't know yet. We got to see where the story goes.
Nick, you can
use the fan polls. The fan polls are going crazy.
Well, I also just got another child, so I think I'm a little safer.
Well, I found my child, which is also connected to you.
The children have to be traumatized.
I'm pretty sure they are.
The children have to be more traumatized. Having two kids didn't save Rick.
They wouldn't kill a child this early.
One of them was a baby, so...
I mean, I'm not going the whole route of the comic, because Judith died as an infant in the comic, gunned down in Laurie's arms when the governor invaded the prison. So
for better or worse, they did make some good changes.
Yeah, her interactions with Negan was fun.
But talking about getting back on, like, Alien has never been larger with a large push from Marvel Comics doing Alien materials. Alien Earth recently finishing, Alien Romulus doing great, and just in general, the franchise being very popular. and Free League being one of the being custodians of that franchise, wanted to bring it, make sure that it's all and up and going further in the future.
Yes.
And again, as I said, it's recently come online, and it should be arriving at stores within the week.
Perfect. So now that we've had that horror, how about we transition to another type of horror, Daryl?
We will transition to Arkham horror, specifically their latest campaign box, Terra Antarctica.
Brr,
And
cool.
I have said that where I'm going for bang for your buck. I didn't mention when I was talking about Daggerheart that core rulebook and that big box of cards is priced at the same price point as a standard core rulebook. And with Terra Antarctica, for the price of a core rulebook, you get. Hang on, let me look over at my shelf and estimate. It's probably almost a 6-inch thick box of campaign materials for an Arkham Horror campaign. Now, Arkham Horror is the latest RPG system from Edge Studio, and it runs on its own dice system that it's really novel. Your dice basically are a resource in the game, and it kind of captures that pulpy Cthulhu-esque feel with different mechanics than just a D100 mechanic, allowing for you as the GM and players to open the game up in different ways than, say, a Call of Cthulhu or Delta Green could do. But Terra Antarctica has maps. It has books for multiple stages of the campaign. Each part of the campaign has its own booklet inside the box. Just
Which is
like the
very
starter
reminiscent
game.
of like classic Call of Cthulhu games. Like they some of their best adventures were like you'd be playing not just months but years with like several books detailing. But that was mostly because like you were going for like large. Well, for Antarctica, it's kind of a journey.
And like the starter box does, Terra Antarctica also comes with some cardboard punch out little puzzles that need to be solved by the PCs. And it does come with some pre-gen PCs, or you can use your own. And it is just an amazing value for what it is. And like pretty much everything that Edge has ever put out, it is a gorgeous set to look at.
That
Um,
they've been working with the Cthulhu franchise for a long with the Call of Cthulhu franchise, HP Lovecraft stuff for years, and I have an entire art book of just their from one of their card games, and again, like the cards that they had were incredibly tiny for this card game. So seeing those artworks blown up in like an art book, like they put a lot of detail into it.
and also, some friends of ours from Gamer Nation Con are also freelancers who worked on Terra Antarctica and Arkham Horror in general. So you be on the lookout. You cannot miss that box in the store. It is
No, you can't.
to borrow a line from an old SNL sketch. It's friggin' huge, but it's worth every penny. I have not had a chance to play the Arkham Horror RPG
The
yet
same
myself.
here,
Same.
but it does intrigue me. But I will say that as an OG and Delta Green player, it's like I am. That's probably what I will run personally, but I won't be opposed to playing in one.
Having watched people playing it, it looks like a lot of fun. It looks right up my alley. And just the fact that it is made by people that I both know of and know the kind of work that they put out. Oh yeah, you got me. I unless I play it and absolutely hate it, which I think is very unlikely, you got me buying every single supplement that you put out.
You had me at Yogg-Sothoth and Cthulhu. I'm all in for those things.
You didn't hear, Daryl, that Keanu Reeves is in it?
I mean, he's in Cyberpunk too, and I'm playing that.
That's spoilers.
Love you,
Robert,
Keanu.
what do you have up next?
I've got some good little tips and tricks for our aspiring game masters out there. I know I definitely am going to be using these in the future because it's just they are slated towards D&D, but they can be helpful other places, and it's just the Game Master's Guide to Non-Playable Characters, as well as a companion one, the Guide to Villains, Minions, and Battle Tactics. Basically, if you are an aspiring GM, I'm sure anyone who's ever played a GM probably has a story where they introduce some character thinking they're just a one-off character, and then for some reason their players just latch onto them, and they won't let you get rid of them because they were never supposed to be here this long in the first place. So now you're like, great, now I got to give them a backstory. I got to figure out how they act, their personality. What do I do? Well, how about
sometimes you don't have the player characters that can usually if you have experienced player characters, they can do that. But sometimes you're all new to this.
Yeah, so this little bundle of joy can both give you characters you can use, but also gives you templates on like, okay, maybe you can decide on their personality, where they're from, how they act, how rich they are. It is directed towards kind of Dungeons and Dragons, but I find that it can still give you inspiration for other types of games. And
Dungeons
I
and
just gotta
Dragons
say,
is the prototype for just about every RPG game.
I mean, for this one and the other one, because this one will talk about like villains, motivations, battle tactics, like how they fight. Do they have minions? Do they use ambush tactics? Will they fight you until they get hurt and flee, or are they going to just stay there until until one of you dies? But then the big thing is just if you love art, which I do. I mean, this is just one example. Look at that.
That is
a really
good
character.
Art.
But this one, and I like me some coloring, so this one's even more impressive. I mean, just look at this thing. How about
That's
you fight
a bad
that?
guy.
How about you fight that?
It's like, it gives it. They aren't giving you. They give examples, but they always are like generic enough. Like it's like working with clay.
Yeah, and every single one of them is like, okay, for this villain or this character, how would you introduce them? Why would the players come across them? For the villains, why would the in this case adventurers care enough to go? And then it even has for like 3 of the villains they actually put out 3 adventures in here that you can use those specific villains for. But then, and as a villain creator myself, because as a GM, it's also just like they have these archetypes. Like, okay, what type of villain are you going for? Are you going for more the smart one? Are you going for more lieutenant? Is it going to be a more lighthearted rival who just kind of butts head with your characters, but we all know it's in good fun. They're not actually trying to kill you.
Classic big bad.
And then just tactics. Okay, how do these type of characters fight? How do these type of minions how would they fight? Would they kind of swarm you and use pack tactics, or would one of them kind of like hold you down while the other shanks you in the chest?
Because there's the difference between like because again, that little bit of flavoring does add a bit. It's like it's the difference between like you could face like Bandit Group number 27, but they could have a little quirk, or it's like, oh, I know that these goblins of this specific tribe are going to do this tactic. That would be how the team would prepare for that.
Exactly. And it's just like, maybe you just think, okay, usually in these type of games, bandits are like one-off easy pickings. But what if I want bandits that are actually pretty terrifying? They're pretty tough enemies. They are an actual threat to your party. Okay, how do I do that? Maybe I have them be more cutthroat. Like they'll just burn the village down and just take everybody into captivity, or maybe they'll
say
lay
that they have hostages, but
ambushes.
they'll say they have the hostages and they'll trade it for gold, but they didn't keep up with the deal.
Yeah, or they're not going to attack you outright. They're just going to hide in the forest and shoot you, or lay traps. You're never going to see them unless you are really good at finding them.
Again, those little
And-
bits may sound simple and like, oh, I could have figured it. It's like, and yeah, you could, but like some people need a little bit of help to like add and that little bit of flavor that buys your characters into this world.
Or if I find like, okay, I need to think of a bad guy, I'll just start reading the book and I'll just let inspiration hit me. Like I'll be reading something about one villain, and it's like, oh, maybe I could do this, and it's completely separate from what I was reading, but it just struck me because I'm just stimulating my mind about, okay, how do I write a villain?
You're talking about these two books in particular. I would go even further and say the entire Game Master's book series is worth a buy.
It very much is, but I'm focusing on these two because there's like what 10 books out there. That'd be like
Something like that.
that'd be like what
I believe it.
a couple or a few hundred there.
Well, here's
Depending on where you get it.
Here's the thing. I have gotten every single one of them except one, which my son bought me as a gift. I've gotten every single one of them at half price books.
That too. Always find a good deal.
And they are brand new. They're at half price books. And on top of the Game Master's book series, there is written by D&D YouTuber Ginny D, the Game Master's deck of boons and banes.
Which we had a lot of fun with.
Oh yeah,
which we've had a lot of fun with. And with the exception of that, since it is an actual deck of cards, not too long ago, Humble Bundle had a bundle of PDFs of the entire Game Master's book series for, I think it was $18.
I didn't get it, but I should have, yeah.
But they are out there. But the main thing is like even with those two examples that you described, there is a whole, not to sound cliche, but a world of adventure ideas, tricks, traps, monsters, and all types of things that you could use either for classic D&D, classic fantasy, or easily adopt into your own system, your own homebrew, or any system you're working with.
Or my personal favorite, the Book of Many Random Tables.
Do you have the book of more random tables, Robert?
There's a second book.
There is.
There is actually.
There is. Hang on. I will tell you the exact title in just a moment, because I do have the PDFs.
I must have it all.
I mean, that's why I know that you're going to come to this Sunday's Fallout game, because I know how much you enjoy the random tables.
There is the one.
Your favorite type of random tables, loot.
There is the one that you have, the Game Master's Book of Random Encounters, and then there is the Game Master's Book of More Random Encounters.
Okay, that literally sounds like what you would call.
They know me well. They know me well.
And then, no, I'm sorry. The one that you are thinking of is the Game Master's Book of Astonishing Random Tables.
Can never go wrong with a random table.
So there's only the
Other
one
than
book of
this.
random tables, but there's 2 books of random encounters.
Yes.
Those are still technically tables that are random, but one is more random than the other.
Tables are tables. It's merely the contents that are different.
So, Nick, what do you have up next?
I decided to go with a little bit something more lighthearted. After we had a little bit of doom and gloom in the space and cosmic horror, journey once upon a time in the magical land of Equestria could be your story in the My Little Pony role-playing game by Renegade Game Studios.
Yes, we've also made such games as Transformers and G.I. Joe. And Power Rangers.
But specifically, for those who want to engage with older and younger audiences alike who enjoyed the 4th generation of My Little Pony or any generation of your imagination, the My Little Pony role-playing game allows you to create your own My Little Pony character, be them a humble earth pony, a high-flying Pegasus, or a magically inclined unicorn. Journey through the lands of Equestria from Ponyville, Manhattan, and the magical city of Canterlot. Meet with iconic characters throughout the series and go on your own adventures, embodying the elements of harmony. Befriend and have to deal with dangerous encounters. And as well, being honest to yourself, being generous. Yes, Robert, I can see your smile.
Because I'm so generous.
Embody kindness, loyalty, and have a bit of laughter. But all of that is not complete without the magic of friendship.
Yes, so yeah, we played a few games on that, and I may have scarred Nick with my generosity, but
It's mainly because the pre-made character was broken.
yes, because one thing about this is in this game, there's things called friendship points. So when your character acts with their specific element, you get a friendship point. And generosity's one is you selflessly give to someone else or help someone else maybe buy something or give them some money. And my
And we
character
had a
was
set of pre-made characters made by the
creators.
staff.
Yep, and mine was an Earth Pony musician whose wealth was basically unlimited.
With the element of generosity.
Yes, so every time I would buy something for someone else or just give someone money, I would just say the line because I'm so generous. And Nick would be like, okay, another friendship point. And it got to the point where I was just joking, yeah, he just has like these Monopoly bags of money and he's just chucking them at people like, okay, here, you can have some money.
Now, I will say this: I do really enjoy the game, both as a long-term fan of the franchise and do like the general mechanics. I will say there are some teething issues with the current edition of the core rulebook. It's not the best formatted. It can be used and it just takes a bit more time to like figure out their table system.
Yeah, but it's their first edition, right? Or their first attempt.
Yeah, they haven't done a second edition yet. So it's Renegade Game Studios is relatively new to the RPG market. They're mostly known for board games and card games.
But I'll tell you, Renegade, generosity is awesome. Keep it as it is. It's great.
But we'll say like it is a fun system, and if you want to engage with young people who want something a bit more chill, but also a little bit of adventure in their lives. My Little Pony, the role playing game, could be up their alley.
Yes, because you don't need us to tell you that the show has garnered both love from kids and adults to different degrees.
Adventure and action, magic, mystery, and the all together thing about like all role playing games. Making companions, fellowship, friendship. That's the real magic.
And I am going to then veer into something completely tonally different with Mothership.
And now for something completely different.
So, Mothership, similar to Alien, is a sci fi horror RPG. It uses a D100 system. And one thing that is kind of interesting about it, one of the supplements for it, which is included in the core box, so it feels weird to call it a supplement, is called uh, the Warden's Operations Manual that includes tables to randomize the scenario. So I have Robert's attention right there.
Contain yourself,
Um,
Robert. There may be children watching.
Proceed.
and so the core set is again bang for your buck. It comes with the player's survival guide, the warden's operation manual, unconfirmed contact reports, shipbreaker's toolkit, an introductory module called Another Bug Hunt, a D100 dice set with a panic die, the punchboard tokens for some characters, a double-sided map, and a mini GM screen. That is all
Nice.
in the core set.
Now
And all for
that's a deal.
all for, once again, just like Daggerheart and Terra Antarctica, for the suggested retail price of $60.
Oh,
Dang, man, I should go to jail with how much I'm stealing.
Now, can do
that's highway robbery.
Now, you can do like I am hoping to do next week, or actually, it will be the day that this episode drops. Our friendly local game store will be starting their Black Friday sale on the day before Thanksgiving. And the last time I was there, they had 2 copies of the deluxe set. And so I am hoping that they are still there. I plan to be there when the store opens and make a beeline for where the Mothership Deluxe set has been. Because the Deluxe set has everything that's in the core set, plus a module called Dead Planet, a module called A Pound of Flesh, and a module called Gradient Descent.
Yeah,
So
you just keep stealing, man. Come on.
I know. I know. Now, granted, you got to pay more for the deluxe set. It has an SRP of $100, which is why I'm going to the sale.
That's still good.
Yeah, to have the entire core thing and the modules just for 100. I know
Yep.
some books that are like 100.
You could spend 100 on 2 whole modules, if not 3, depending on the system.
I know, right?
Now, I played Mothership at Gamer Nation Con, and one thing
Very
one
lucky.
thing that I found interesting about it is, in addition to the random tables, because Scott Zumwalt, great GM and a wonderful creator of third party content for Genesis, he was using the random table book. But despite being a sci-fi horror game, those of us who were playing were kind of also able to lean into some of the absurdity of the situation, which, Alien, because it is a known IP, yes, you can have moments of levity, but you don't necessarily want to really have, any outright wackiness. But we were able to lean into some of the
The levity is
absurdity.
purposeful, but that's something we discussed
Yeah.
in our alien discussion. Like they're purposeful to
Yeah.
help with reducing stress.
We didn't go full on comedy when we were playing Mothership, but we were definitely playing some bits.
Some
So,
So
satire.
it's like you're leaning against the wall, but you're not breaking it.
right. So, I am looking forward to hopefully finally obtaining my own copy of Mothership. Hopefully, by the time you are all listening to this episode, I will be gleefully sifting
And
through my
buying our
Mothership
merch.
box. We're not there yet, Nick. We're not there yet. We are throwing to Robert for Robert's final item.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, I do not have one, but this is just one of those simple things for any player, GM, anybody can get it. It's just one of those fun little dice roller towers. Instead of just taking your dice and going like that, you can just have a tower, you just put it in there, and it just goes round and round, and who knows what it'll be. Just a little
Honestly,
bit,
I want one too. And there's so many options, both
so
that you could
many.
buy, that you could buy. There's also, if you are lucky to have like 3D printers, there's several one of those out there as well.
I
Nick,
mean,
I
and
You
want
they're
can
to say
even
and they're
construct
not
your
that.
own.
Yeah, and they can range from like maybe $8 to like really good ones, maybe be like 30, but yeah, they're pretty cheap. And then just add a
Like
little bit more spice to it. Be like, okay, what will this be? Let's find out.
Mhm.
Nick, I saw online recently someone made a dice tower for a game in one of the IPs that we play, and I can't remember which one. My gut is telling me that it was Alien, that it
Likely
was
that
like an alien head dice
I
tower.
could see I could see
I
that. That would
believe
be
that, or
pretty
like
good.
the alien tail.
That too. Like there's I've seen plenty like at conventions and stuff like that. Some of them are custom made, and there's plenty that are like, yeah, if you want one printed, painted, definitely on the higher end. But you could definitely get some cheaper ones that are just like your classic, like rook, like a chess piece rook tower
There
unpainted,
was
and you could like for like
there was
eight
someone at
bucks.
Gamer Nation Con who had one that was nice, fairly sturdy plastic, but it was collapsible. It
Oh
would
yeah,
collapse down
that's
for
great for
easy
great.
transport.
But either way, it's like it's it definitely helps with like when, especially for like big roles, emphasizes them, or if your table is like suspicious of your dice. I mean, like, well, let fate decide.
Yes, and
You
the good thing
know,
about this one is they have varying prices, and there are so many options. You will not have a problem finding it. You might not even need a link. Just type in Dice Tower in Google, and you'll just find so many
You can find
results.
them on
yep,
Etsy, eBay, Amazon. Like,
Amazon,
uh, there's Patreons that
probably at your
probably do
local game
entirely
store.
like
I'm
that.
sure they got a few options.
It's like either way, it's
and
like it's a fun aesthetic, and if you can find it for your specific game aesthetic or idea, or if you can customize it to your thing, it it's a big thing that was like, and this is one of the few things I haven't really done, but I'm sort of more traditional like hand roller.
No, you just
you know,
use the
I
top.
I haven't had a chance to print it because my large scale 3D printer needs to be replaced. But quite some time back, I backed a Kickstarter for a 3D printable modular GM screen that has GM screen sections that
Oh,
it also
you
includes
told me about that a couple of years back.
it, it includes shelves that you can put minis in the inside, even little drawers. And one of the sections, there's a printable dice tower
It would connect to
segment
it.
that can connect to it. And you can, as the GM, you can, since it's modular, you can either have it set up to be your dice tower for your dice rolls, or you can turn it the other way so it's the player's dice tower. I so need to replace that 3D printer so that I can make that.
Yes. So
That sounds really cool.
yes. So while some of these are like find a bundle with a good deal, this one is just throw a dart at a dartboard, see where it lands, and you got yourself a dice tower.
Find you a dice tower that you like.
Or
that
somebody
fits
else
your
will like.
aesthetic, your team, or someone else's team or idea.
Yep.
Yep. And so,
simple
Nick,
as that. Take it away, Nick.
All right, Chooms. We gotta talk about Cyberpunk.
Let's do it,
Specifically,
Samurai.
Cyberpunk is one of the OG classic RPG systems. Currently, it's been rebranded as Cyberpunk Red. It takes place during the years of the Red.
2045.
But most of the mainstream media are all aware about Cyberpunk 2077 and Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Which I am waiting for the second season.
But what if you wanted to not just be in the shoes of in the world of those classic Edgerunners, but be those classic Edgerunners? Enter in Cyberpunk the Edgerunner's Mission Kit. Adapts the very popular rules from Cyberpunk Red into the year 2077. Expanded backstories and player character seats for the Edgerunner crew.
All I gotta say, as long as I get to be Falco, I'm good. He's awesome, and he's also one of the only two that survive.
with a full on gig for you to run as the whole crew. Adapted rules to not just allow you to use like iconic cyber weapons like mantis blades, gorilla arms, but also quick hacks, while still using the same framework of the Cyberpunk Red system.
Yes, too true. Though maybe just be careful about that.
Be able to play around in that incredibly iconic era, and be ready for the fact that Telsorian Games is planning on coming up with a full-on supplement for 2077.
Which means one day we gotta stat out our own V.
Yeah, Canon V is a monster.
Canon V is very much a monster, though. If you are gonna play the Cyberpunk Edgerunners kit, well, sorry for whoever plays Rebecca, because you're gonna get some atoms smashed.
But either way, be able to experience the Cyberpunk experience, and it is still compatible as a basically retroactive starter set for Cyberpunk Red, which we are currently doing a campaign in. Same mechanics, but just a few different additions to put it into that 2077 era.
Yep. It's going to be...
all of it still overseen by the OG, the original creator, Mr. Pondsmith.
Yep. Same flavor, same dystopian, same corporate chilling every time you turn around the corner in the city.
It's just, you can play in 2077, which is the new edition that came out this year, and they're getting ready for a whole lot more stuff coming out. And there's even free additional online supplements for explicitly the Missing Kit. A new adventure, and refined character sheets.
Yep. Talsorian Games is very good at supplementing and even doing it free as long as you know where to go.
So if this is your first introduction if your first introduction is the year 2077 of Cyberpunk, this is a good way to get yourself into the world, but you can easily also take a trek back in time to the years of the Red, where they're also cooking up some real solid stuff.
Or if you want to go even further than that, you can go back to 2020. And you
Where it
get to
all
see
began.
where it all began, and just make sure you don't sell your soul to the corporates because they'll just advertise the crap out of it.
Hey, speaking of going corporate and advertising and gift ideas, we're going to do a little shameless plug here.
Woo!
So, the best kind of plug, shameless. On Friday, November 28th, 2025, we're going to have 3 holiday themed shirts drop on our merch store. And they're going to be available through Christmas. And in addition to that, from November 28th to 30th, you can take 25% off your entire order on the merch store with promo code Black Friday 2025. And if that's not enough, you can use that same code on Patreon to take 50% off your first month supporting the show. And there's going to be more deals coming throughout the 2025 holiday season. So I am going to completely skip the bullying Nick portion of the show and say, check out our website at howwerollgaming.com. And there you'll find information about our current campaigns, the podcast archive, and links to that very same merch store and all of our social media.
Yes, you can also directly support the show through Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/howwerollgaming and you'll see our different membership tiers starting at just $2 a month. Or if you take that deal, maybe even a little less, with special recognition on our Discord server and higher tiers giving you on-air credit and discounts on our merch store.
Finally, if you have any questions you'd like us to answer, topics you'd like to discover, or even submit your own RPG glory story, submit us an email at podcast@howwerollgaming.com.
Woohoo! So yeah, just those shirts that I mentioned, that they're going to be fun. There's a How We Roll Gaming shirt that they're all of them are green for the holidays. One of them is just the How We Roll Gaming logo with a Santa hat on the D20.
Really nice.
The other says, "All I want for Christmas is a Nat 20." My personal favorite
And mine too.
Says, "Santa Claus is coming to town. Roll for initiative."
Yep.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna have to actually get that myself. That's
yeah.
I like
it's
that.
giving all us GMs ideas.
That it is, and if only
if Santa Claus, if you can't see him when he sneaks in, does it mean that you have to figure out a way to beat his stealth roll?
Yes,
very much so.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what system you're statting him out for.
Yeah, if you're doing D&D, he's got great stealth, but also great insight because he knows when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake.
Yeah.
And he knows if you've been bad or good.
Oh, he knows your alignment. Oh, that would affect his attacks? That's would he attack the good? I know that he will give coal to the naughty. So they would have fire element or at least stone element.
So Nick, are you going to be getting a bunch of coal this year?
Most likely.
Nah, I think Santa got something special for you. He's just gonna, I don't know if you got stockings, but he'll just neatly place maybe 2 or 3 squirrels in there. Just let them have fun in there.
And a calculator.
And a calculator. that never runs out of battery and you can't break it.
I don't know which one offends me more. So you may have skipped it, but you still met the quota.
Yes,
I
yes,
have
we
been
did.
bullied. And we know
You
what
have
that
been bullied.
means.
That means we're done with
We
the
are done for the
episode.
day.
So thank you everyone for joining us. We hope we gave you some good ideas for gifts for yourself, or to suggest for others for yourself, or to possibly buy for your gaming friends. But in the meantime, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will be talking to you again through the holiday season. Thank you
In
for
case
joining
you
us.
don't, we wish you all the happy holidays regardless, because we understand how busy holidays can be, so you might not have the time to visit in with your favorite gaming trio.
Or to check in with us.
Yeah,
That too.
either or.
Yeah. But thanks again for joining us. Until next time, I'm Daryl.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Robert.
And this is How We Roll.
Happy Thanksgiving.